myself Ajit Joshi, Assistant Professor from Canada Engineering College. Welcome you all for my video on third module of measurements of screw thread and gear parameters. In this third module, the first part of the module deals with the measurement of screw thread parameters. So in this video, we are beginning with the screw thread parameters. Let us have some introduction on the screw thread parameters and definitions of screw thread parameters. A screw thread. Generally, it is a groove, a helical groove formed on a cylinder, or nothing but a spiral groove which is formed on a cylinder. We call it as a screw thread. And again, if the screw thread, the same groove, if it is forming on a cone, then generally we call it as a tapered screw threads. The cross section of the helical groove, we call it as form of the screw thread. This defines one of the important specification of the threads. Screw threads, they are essentially used in fastening, and threads of this nature are simple in design and easy to produce. The most common form of the threads is V, though there are many variations in this form. Like in the example, in the V thread, there are metric threads and acme threads. There are many other forms of threads with variation in the angle, thread angle, and other things. Okay, and other parameters. So, however, the form of the thread remains same. That is V, which is widely used. But still, there are many other forms which can be used. Something like square thread, which is used as a form of a thread in lead screws. The another important function of a screw thread is to transmit power. As I already mentioned, the square thread, generally in the example of lead screw of a lathe or a screw jack, we use the square threads, and they possess very good stability, and it can transmit power. Apart from this, screw threads are used in measuring devices like micrometers. The form of the screw thread influences the function it has to perform, because example, if I take an example of a V, it has got a narrow cross section, or nothing but the strength of the material goes on decreasing when it reaches to the top of the screw thread. Whereas in case of square thread, the material which remains uniform from the bottom of the screw thread, or from the bottom of the thread to the tip of the thread. So from the crest to trough, when there is a varying cross section, the material goes on varying, and because of which the mechanical strength or the stability to the stability or load bearing capacity is go on varying. Whereas when there is a screw thread like with a square cross section, that is a square screw thread, then generally it has got a better mechanical stability or mechanical characterizations. So that's why it can sustain a load in a better amount compared to the V screw threads. So yeah, that's what it is intended to function. It is intended to perform the function. So the aim of the screw thread dimensional control is to ensure the mechanical strength, which is generally governed by the amount of flank contact rather than by the fit in the threaded hole. And in case of V screw thread, generally it is the flank control contact is good enough, and hence it is necessary to control the dimensions of the threads. That is about the introduction to screw thread. Now let us go with the screw thread terminologies, especially with related to the external threads. This is the general form or a general diagram which we can see for a screw thread. Here we can see some of the important parameters which we can see here is crest truncation pitch, apex, angular depth, root truncation, major diameter and minor diameter and pitch, depth of the screw thread, addendum, dedendum, root, crest. So first, a screw thread is a helical ridge produced by forming a continuous helical groove of uniform section on the external or internal surface of a cylinder or a cone. If I am saying it is for the external threads, generally the threads are formed over a surface either over a cylinder or a cone. A screw thread formed on a cylinder is known as straight or parallel screw threads, while one which is formed on a cone or frustum of a cone is known as tapered screw threads. External threads. A threads formed on the outside of a workpiece is called external threads. Example, on bolts or studs, generally we find external threads. This is again here which is whether it is a bolts or struts over a cylinder we can imagine like a helical groove which is formed on a cylinder, whereas internal threads, a thread formed on the inside of a workpiece which we call it as internal threads. This is a term which is related to internal thread. Generally on a nut or a female screw gauge, generally we find internal screw threads. So let us go to the next term, multiple start screw thread. This is produced by forming two or more helical grooves equally spaced and similarly formed in an axial section on a cylinder. This gives a very quick transverse without sacrificing the core strength. And such threads are special application threads and are not widely commonly used. Axis of a thread. Axis of a thread is an imaginary line running longitudinally through the center of a screw. Right hand thread or left hand thread. Suppose a screw is held such that the observer is looking along the axis, and if a point moves along the thread in a clockwise direction and thus moves away from the observer, then the thread is called right hand thread. Also, if the point moves along the thread in clockwise direction and if it moves towards the observer, then the thread is called, such a thread we call it as left hand thread. Form of thread. This is the shape of the contour of one complete thread, as in the axial section. Like in the axial section or the diagram in the last slide which I have seen, the form of a thread either it can be or it is a contour of one complete thread. The crest of a thread. This part we have can clearly observe it in the last diagram in the last slide. This is defined as the prominent part of the thread, whether it can be external or internal. Generally, the crest of a thread is the peak of this thread, or nothing but the tip of the thread, the topmost tip of the thread. The bottommost tip of the thread are nothing but the bottom of the groove between the two flanks of a thread, whether it may be external or internal. This can be defined as bottom of the groove between the two flanks of the thread, whether it can be external or internal. That is what we call it as a root of thread. Flanks of thread. These are straight edges which connect the crest with the root. So between any two such flanks, the bottommost part of the groove we call it as a root. Angle of the thread. This is the angle between the two successive flanks or the slope of the thread measured in an axial plane. Angle of the thread is the very important specification of the thread, and it is signifying which form of the thread or which is the type of thread it is. Next term, flank angle. The flank angles are the angles made between individual flanks and the perpendicular to the axis of the thread, which passes through the vertex of the fundamental triangle. The flank angle of a symmetrical thread is commonly termed as the half angle of thread. Pitch. The pitch of a thread is the distance measured parallel to the axis of the thread between corresponding points on adjacent threads forms in the same axial plane and on the same side of axis. The base pitch is equal to the lead divided by number of thread starts. This is the ratio. On drawings of thread sections, the pitch is shown as the distance from the center of one thread crest to the center of the successive crest, and this representation is correct for single start as well as multi-start threads. You can go back to the earlier slide and check the diagram. You can understand the pitch clearly. It is, in simple words, it is a distance between two successive crests or two successive roots of a thread, and it holds good for both single as well as multi-start threads, and it is also one of the most important specification of a thread. Lead. Lead is the axial distance moved by the threaded part when it is given one complete revolution about its axis with respect to the fixed mating thread. It is necessary to distinguish between measurements of lead from the measurement of pitch. The pitch is the distance measured parallel to the axis of a thread between two corresponding points on the adjacent thread forms in the same axial plane, whereas lead is the axial distance moved by the threaded part when it is given one complete revolution about its axis with respect to the fixed mating thread. Further, it is also that as uniformity of pitch measurement does not assure the uniformity of lead. Next specification of a thread is thread per inch. Generally, in the market we can ask the threads by giving some specifications like pitch, thread angle, major diameter, minimum diameter or minor diameter, and then thread per inch. This is the thread per inch is the reciprocal of pitch in inches. That the thread per inch indicates that in 1 unit inch dimension or 1 inch of dimension, how many threads are formed. Next is lead angle. On a straight thread, lead angle is the angle made by the helix of the thread at the pitch line with plane perpendicular to the axis. The angle is measured in an axial plane. Next, important angle of the screw thread is helix angle. On a straight thread, The helix angle is the angle made by the helix of the thread at the pitch line with the axis, whereas lead angle, it is the helix of the thread at the pitch line with plane perpendicular to the axis, whereas helix angle is plane with the axis. So the angle measured is always in an axial plane. Next term related to the screw thread is depth of the thread. This is the distance from the crest or the tip of the thread to the root of the thread, measured perpendicular to the longitudinal axis, or this could be defined as the distance measured radially between the major and minor axis. Axial thickness. This is the distance between two opposite faces of the same thread, measured on the pitch cylinder in a direction parallel to the axis of thread. Fundamental triangle. This is found by extending the flanks and joining the points B and C. Thus, in the figure which was shown in the earlier slide, triangle ABC can be referred as a fundamental triangle. And in this fundamental triangle, as per the diagram, the line BC indicates the pitch, and the vertical height of this triangle is the angular or theoretical depth. The point A is the apex of the triangle ABC. This point A is obtained by extending the two successive flanks. Truncation. A thread is sometimes truncated at the crest, or at the root, or at both crest and the root. The truncation at the crest is the radial distance from the crest to the nearest apex of the fundamental triangle. Similarly, the truncation at the root is the radial distance from the root to the nearest apex. Addendum. For an external thread, this is defined as the radial distance between the major and the pitch cylinders, whereas for the internal threads, this is the radial distance between the minor and the pitch cylinders. Dedendum. This is the radial distance between the pitch and the minor cylinder for external thread, whereas for the internal threads, this is the radial distance between the major and the pitch cylinders. Major diameter. In case of a straight thread, this is the diameter of major cylinder or an imaginary cylinder coaxial with the screw, which just touches the crest of an external thread or root of an internal thread. Further, this major diameter is often referred to as the outside diameter, also called as a crest diameter or full diameter of external thread. Please underline the outside diameter, crest diameter or full diameter of external threads. These are the other names of major diameter which may help you in preparing the competitive exams. Minor diameter. In case of straight thread, this is the diameter of a minor cylinder or an imaginary cylinder coaxial with the screw, which just touches the root of an external threads or crest of an internal threads. It is often referred to as the root diameter or cone diameter of external threads. Effective diameter. It is the third important diameter of a given screw threads. In case of straight thread, this is the diameter of the pitch cylinder or the imaginary cylinder, which is coaxial with the axis of the screw and intersects the flanks of the threads in such a way as to make the width of the threads and the width of the spaces between the threads equal. If the pitch cylinder be imagined as generated by a straight line parallel to the axis of screw, that straight line then referred to as the pitch line. Along the pitch line, the width of the screw threads and the width of the spaces are equal to the perfect thread. This is the most important dimension as it decides the quality of the fit between the screw and the nut. Functional diameter or virtual diameter. For an external or internal thread, this is a pitch diameter of enveloping threads of perfect fit, lead and flank angles having full depth of engagement but clear at crest and roots. This is defined over a specified length of a thread. This may be greater than simple effective diameter by an amount due to errors in pitch and angle of the thread. So these are the important terminologies related to the screw thread. In the next video, we discuss on screw thread parameter measurement by 2 wire method, 3 wire method, or using the floating cast, and also in the successive videos on a toolmaker's microscope. Thank you all for patient listening. I have used different resources for preparing this teaching material. I acknowledge all such sources and thank you one and all for